this is a brutal black pill about um religious clubs, whether it's in college, whether it's post college. Um, the really sad part, the really interesting part is that in the conservative sphere where men and where it's kind of more for men and women subcultures, whether it's, I don't know, Mormon, Catholic, Christian, Muslim, whatever subcultures where it's all in the West, by the way. What subcultures where men and women marry early. Um, there's a big gap, I think, especially in the West Coast, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's everywhere, where it's like a lot of the men are more pro. What is it? I think I heard it's called pro natalist, pro like trying to recreate, regenerate themselves at a young age, young 20s, young to mid 20s. But there's not enough women that are not that women don't bring them same amount of numbers that the men do. And I've seen this a lot, just because I have one friend that's in like goes way down that conservative sphere, and I don't go. I just dip my toes in it, but I don't go down it too much. But a pattern I see, because I'm very pattern IQ and all that, is that there's young timid women are not wanting to settle down and make babies, but there's a huge surplus of young to mid young men that want to, that are really about the religion and are really wanting a good wife, or that's or just a wife that claims that religion to settle down with. And because there's just so few, almost zero girls that are their same age from 20 to 25. um, and don't get me wrong, like I said, there's a surplus of men from you'd be surprised, but 20 to 25 that are, or even like mid 20s, like 26, around there, that are down to settle down. But there's very very few women here in the West Coast that are to settle down. Um, so a lot of these men that want to get married, they end up marrying women that are like 3 years older, 4 years older, um, not even two, like three minimum, 3 years older, 4 years older, 5 years older. There's a 21, because I know, because of marriages, because of my friend is like socially intertwined, so he tells me these marriages, and I was asking him, and yeah, it's like a 22-year-old guy marrying a 25-year-old girl, a 23-year-old guy marrying a 26, 27-year-old girl, and then sometimes there'll be more. They're like, it's always these girls in their late 20s, and the guys, um, mostly like, I think mostly white guys, conservative, like conservative white dudes, um, in their early to mid 20s, you know, trying to settle down. Uh, so there, and technically, I guess their looks match would be what, a conservative, young, mid to mid 20s white girl, and that makes a lot of sense because there's just not enough. There's a lot of young to mid 20s white girls. White girls are not even thinking of trying to settle down. Like, it's not even on their a blip of their radar. Um, so a lot of them are like, a lot of these young conservative dudes are marrying older women, because there's just not enough of the settle down girls at that young age. It's impossible. Like men are more eager to procreate at that age than women. Women here are, yeah. It's almost like an insult to ask a woman to settle down at that age in the West. Um, it's like, they immediately will think you're trying to have her barefoot on the kitchen or something like that. Um, so yeah, my guys are marrying up in age because there's just not enough young girls, and and I think there's even like some, like, a girl was 30 and the guy was like 23 or 24. So, and another thing about these circles is that, like, they're majority men. And like, I talked about that in another video, but even when they do get to know each other and end up marrying, a lot of the girls, like, most of the girls are average looking. I said that before, but even from, especially for the decent looking ones, a lot of them are conversion stories. They're conversion, not conversion, but like, yeah, I had a little too much fun in college, but I'm going back to the religion. I'm going back to my, I strayed away, and I'm going back to it, and yeah, and they don't really talk about it, and sometimes they will talk about it. Like, there's a girl that she admitted, like, she like slept with a guy on almost, but she had sex, but she technically didn't have sex. Like, there's a lot of these, like, it's like hose light version, like a doctor, no caffeine, um, diet coke, whatever. There's like a good portion of conversion stories in the women gender, but in the male gender, like a lot of, a lot of them are just, they've been saints since like day one, like, and they, like really really deep into the religion. So, and they'll marry, like they'll end up, um a lot of times they'll end up marrying some of these girls that are, kind of past former hose light, and then the guys are not even 1 ounce of a hoe light in his past. But I think that's been going on in the secular world for a while. Like, that's always been the norm. But it's, there are no conversion stories on the male side, so it's kind of sad. It's kind of a sad black pill about the demographics of um, if you religion max, or religious social circle max. It's like, yeah, it's something I was creating patterns just because of, hearing of friends of friends, or and yeah, there's a huge imbalance. So, and that's just simple mathematics. There's just, the girls are not wanting to even think about making babies in their 20s, but there's a huge surplus of guys that it's on their radar. Um, and yeah, guys just have to date up, or by even 3-4 years. Um, Actually, there's one guy, and I think in one of the circles, that he was 26 and he married a girl who was 40. But that's just something way off. Like, that's just an anomaly. Um, yeah, so it's mainly that point, and the second point was, yeah, there's this huge conversion girl trend. Like, oh, I moved away for college, and I had a little too much fun, but I'm back. Hey guys, I'm back. And then the guys are like just straight up saints, just like they're just like they pray before going to sleep. They pray like 4 or 5 times a day. Guys will just take what they can get, but it's just, yeah, it's a sad imbalance.